Well, hey, everybody. Hey, Molson Man. Hey, Tony. Hey, Kez Chick. Hey, Momo. Hey, Shamita. Hey, Nonstop Mom. Hey, AJ. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, all you cool cats and kittens. Hello, Allie79. How you doing? Is your friend Carol Baskin? Just kidding. Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day. I am beat, y'all, like for reals. So, this morning I woke up. I probably should have slept longer, but for whatever reason I couldn't. So I woke up at like I don't know, 7:30 after not hey lucrative after not getting off of here until like what almost midnight or maybe right at midnight. And I go into the kitchen because my everybody knows what my routine is. I take a 5-hour energy, I make my coffee, and I go sit on my back porch and have coffee and a cigarette, right? No 5-hour energy, and I knew there was one left, so I was already mad. All right. So then I said, "All right, I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee. I'm gonna go to the store, to the gas station." So I do all that. So then right about that time, the coffee and I get back and the coffee and the 5-hour have now combined and they've kicked in. And now I come up with the bright idea. I think I should rearrange my bedroom furniture because that's where, my desk and everything is. And I just don't really like the setup because the chair is bigger now and it was like too close to my bed. And I felt like the chair was like in the bed with me, right? So this is what I decided to do. So I love the room, by the way, but my husband helped. It's not like I'm just being extra. It's not like I was, moving furniture by myself. Actually, yeah. So he helped. Actually, he did most of it. Hey, Kimberly Jerome, how's it going? All right. So I got my whole room rearranged, which, when you start moving furniture, especially because I have tile. So no matter how much I get underneath the bed, hey, coolest reviews, underneath all the things, right? You can't always get all of the dog hair or the cat hair. So as he's moving stuff around, I'm vacuuming, right? But at the same time, I'm like, oh God, it's Sunday, right? And it's in the Bible that on Sunday is laundry day. So I was like, oh God. So then I start, getting everybody's laundry together. So then I'm moving the furniture, getting everything all put together, doing the laundry. I cleaned the bathroom. I did all the vacuuming. So anyway, your girl is tired. So this is what we're going to do tonight. This one's just going to be a little quickie. I'm going to I'm going to do the detective that did the drone footage because I mean the drone footage is kind of cool. And then tomorrow night I'm going to do the doctor because I really am just going to be, you guys know I don't hold nothing back from you. I'm good for like about another hour and then I think I'm going to hit, as the runners say, the wall and be done. I agree, Allie. Sometimes the quickies are the best. And I'll tell you why, because sometimes you got other shit to do. And the other shit I have to do is the mimis, which I don't even know if it's an actual Spanish word. I don't actually think it is. I think it might be. I don't know but it's nights. But hi, Nikki Rex. Good to see you again, babe. But anyway, yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna go over the drone footage because it's not just the drone footage. The drone footage is all right, right? But what's really interesting is the traffic cameras. That's what's interesting, and I think that yeah, see, Nonstop Mom, this is the best thing for everybody. I come live, right? Bing, bang, boom. Get a little quickie, have a little chat, have a little convo, and we're out. Everybody leaves satisfied. Perfect. You I wonder what the deal is. Who else did their room today? I see Coolest Reviews did theirs. Let me see who else did their. Kez Chick did hers. So see, you know what it is? I think it's because let's see, what's today? The 27th. So tomorrow's the last day of February, right? And then boom, March is Tuesday, the first day of March. And I was looking up when the first day of Lent is, and it's March 2nd. Lent begins, but it also decided to tell me when the first day of spring is. And the first day of spring is March 20th this year, which means by March 8th, it'll be starting to feel more like spring. And my son was even remarking today, and he's right. I'm just monkeying around backstage getting the link for the drone footage. But anyway, my son and I were talking, and he said to me, I think spring is going to be a little early this year because when I was outside and the sun was actually hitting, you could feel it. It felt a lot warm. And I have to say, when people say that the sun hits different here in Florida, they are not playing, they are not lying, and they're very serious, and you should take them very serious because it's the truth. So, I think it's because it was like 70. I mean, I had shorts on today. So, yeah. Whew. Oh, everybody did great. Coolest reviews. We had a great live last night. Molson Man was great. Everybody did great. I had such a good time last night and chatting with everybody. It was so much fun. I like it when we start talking about like one thing and then we end up going into different subjects. And we had a really interesting paranormal conversation last night. We were sharing some paranormal stories. It was really cool. It was a good live. I thought it was a lot of fun. I definitely want to do something like that again and very soon, and like maybe make it what you mean? There's no white is literally not in any way, shape, or form mocha. I'm very sorry, Ellie79. That is terrible. I'm so sorry, Keschick. I'm so sorry. Look, I've had a lot of experiences. I've had a couple in this house. I had a lot in the house in Pinellas Park, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's not what we're here for. All right. We're going to hear from I just looked at his name, Officer Feeney, and then the other one is hold on. Corey Streeter. So it's about 48 minutes of footage. That should be perfect for us. Yes, yes. And yes, I would love for you to share yours. I know. I mean, they're a little freaky. It's a little unnerving. I get it, babe. I totally get it, Kezchick. I totally get it. So, yeah, and coolest reviews, you're gonna have to come up the next time we do one of those. I want to do it soon, and we're all gonna have we're gonna scare everybody, but we're not gonna scare Kezchick. We don't want to scare her. All right. Hey, I've learned a lot. All right. So, let's get it started. These guys talk a little slower. So I'm just going to speed them up to 1.25 just a little bit and go. Okay, that's unfortunate. There we go.
WFEENEY.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a police officer for the city of New Richmond.
And were you previously employed by the Dunn County Sheriff's Office?
Yes,
How long did you work for the Dunn County Sheriff's Office?
approximately 18 years.
On March 23rd of 2018, were you assigned to utilize your drone to assist with an investigation?
Yes,
Do you recall what type of drone you utilized?
it's a DJI Mavic.
And can you briefly describe the drone and how it works for the jury?
Sure. DJI Mavic is a foldable drone. It's got an onboard camera that live feeds back to the remote. So it's called a quadcopter. It's got 4 different propellers. Copter. It has 4 different propellers. It's controlled by a handheld unit, similar to what you would see like driving a radio-controlled car. However, the iPhone is interfaced with that, so you get live time footage of what the drone is seeing, and you can control the drone to have video or photographs taken at a push of a button.
And when you were asked to utilize the drone on March 23rd, 2018, was that after a body was located?
Yes.
And was it prior to the crime scene unit arriving?
Yes, I believe so.
And so do you recall approximately what time that was you arrived to fly the drone?
I don't recall exactly what time, but it was dusk. I had about 10 minutes of flight time before it got dark.
And did you have an opportunity to review your drone footage from March 23rd, 2018 before coming into court today?
Yes.
And I believe there's no objection, so I move exhibit 271 in evidence.
All right, no objection.
Request to publish the drone for the jury.
Exhibit 271 will be received, and you may publish it to the jury.
I guess let me ask you, did you start on the roadway on 430th Avenue?
Yes.
And had you walked back yourself to the crime scene area?
At that time, I had not.
So I'm going to play 271 now. And so you indicated you only had a short amount of time before it was dark. Is that right?
Correct.
And so did you return back the next day?
Yes, I believe I was asked to come back by Deputy Dennis Reed to come do another scene flight.
Well, I'm glad you made it, Nikki Rex. And yes, Sam, you are in the right place, babe. All right, here we go. I'm so glad to see all of you guys. You know I always am.
And did you have an opportunity to review the drone disc from the following day, March 24th of 2018, before
Yes.
coming into court? Is it an accurate copy of the drone footage you took?
Yes.
Move exhibit 272 into evidence.
But exhibit 272 will be received.
So publish that for the jury.
Agreed. All right, that'll be played.
Hey, Callie, welcome back. Good to see you, babe. And I have to also agree, Molson man, I'm very proud of you. The island tried to suck you back in, but you stood firm. You said, no, 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 I shan't go back. And I'm proud of you. I'm glad you liked the live, Callie. I thought it was fun. I had a good time. I always have a good time with you guys, though, for reals.
Okay, and in exhibit 272, That was after the crime lab had processed the scene?
Correct.
And is that also, was the car still there?
The car was not there at that time.
I also have a number of pictures to show you. And you reviewed these prior to coming into court today?
Yes.
Provide you with a copy so you have some in front of you. I don't believe there's an objection, so I'd move exhibits 273 to 277, as well as exhibits 528 to 529 in evidence.
So 273 to 277. Any objection to those exhibits being received? No objection. All right, exhibits 273 through 277 will be received. Also, exhibits 528 and 529 will be received.
Request to publish those photographs as well for the jury.
No objection. All right, go ahead, you may.
So starting with exhibit 273, did you utilize the drone to also take photographs that day?
Yes.
And since the car is still there, was this photograph taken on March
Well,
23rd,
hold on just a sec.
2018?
Yes, this would have been from the first drone.
Thank you so much, Molson man. I really love our chat. I really do. And AJ, I don't know, the chats have been really weird for me on YouTube too. I have to switch back and forth between live chat and top chat to like get it to catch up and show me all of the comments. It's been really weird. I don't know what the deal is with the YouTubes. They're annoying, but I agree. I think that we have the best chat on these YouTube streets for reals, for reals, for reals. And that's due to you guys. And I appreciate it. All right. Back to the drones.
Play.
Also showing exhibit 274. What is that a photograph of?
That is a photograph of the vehicle in the crime scene,
That
aerial
is-
shot.
That is a photograph of Ezra McCandless's vehicle and her aftermarket custom paint job.
And then exhibit 275. What is this a photograph of?
This is at looking back towards the crime scene from the roadway, approximately 300 to 400 feet in the air.
And was this taken on March 24th, 2018?
Yes, this would have been from a second drone flight.
Exhibit 276. What is that a photograph of?
Same as the previous photograph, just canted off to the east a bit further.
And 277.
277 is now looking back towards the direction of the first two photographs from the crime scene, looking back towards the roadway.
There we go. And then exhibit 528. What is that a photograph of?
A photograph of the vehicle in the crime scene.
Also utilizing the drone.
Correct.
And 529.
Same vehicle, just taken from the front of the vehicle towards the roadway.
Thank you. I'm done with the projector. Mr. Feeney, on March 24th of 2018, do you recall conducting a grid search of the crime scene area?
Yes.
Was there anything in particular that you were looking for?
At that point, I believe we were still looking for a possible weapon that may have been used, as well as a cell phone.
And do you recall locating something?
Yes.
And what did you locate?
I located two items. One was a knife, and the other was what appeared to be the back of a cell phone.
May I approach?
You may.
Showing you, it's been previously marked as exhibit number 282. If you would be able to kind of show the jury how you were searching along 430th Avenue when you were looking for those items.
Sure. I was assigned the south ditch. There was an officer assigned the middle, and then one on the north ditch, and we proceeded from east to west, looking at the ground area.
Okay, Officer Feeney, let me just interrupt you just real quick. Yes, Tony, I can't highlight your comment because, well, no, I can. I don't really care. Here we go. So, my dad was a finance manager for a couple of dealerships when I was growing up. And he always said to me, your car is a depreciating asset. You know, the more you drive it, the less it's worth, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, very, very like just drilled it into our heads growing up that the only thing that should be in your car are like, you know, stuff that you need, like a blanket, you know, like a gas can, obviously the spare tire stuff, you know, things like that, but not like you don't live in your car. And that's what he would tell me. And I remember when he came to see us, me and my sister, we all met up, and he came from Arizona. And then that's when I had the Camaro, and he the first thing he did was look in that Camaro and say, "Oh, perfect. You don't live in your car. I see you're still living the code." I said, "Yes, Dad, I'm still living the code." So yeah, that's how my dad. But yeah, and if I would have done what that custom paint job baloney, oh my gosh, I never would have heard the end of it. Even if I purchased the car myself.
I show you exhibit 283. Have you seen this before?
I have not.
I'll show you first.
Judge, I guess if she wants to ask him a question, she can, but I don't think it's appropriate to have
Sure.
a private conversation in the middle of the trial up there.
Sure. Okay, I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit 283. Despite not seeing this before today, can you show for the jury where you located the knife?
The knife is located here, just west of the crackwood.
And then do you recall locating a portion of a cell phone?
Yes, I believe the back of the cell phone is this object here.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, no way, Molson man.
And what, if anything, did you do
You
when
should
you
never STFU. You did great last
located
night. I had the most
knife
fun
that day?
ever.
It was photographed as well as I sketched the knife on a notepad.
I
and then
think
Sergeant
she's
Roberts,
getting ready for
took
work. She didn't
measurements,
ask me for the
approximate
link,
measurements,
so
we didn't
I
wanna
don't
touch
know
the
where
knife,
she
And I
is.
documented those as well on the sketch.
And did you touch any portion of a cell phone that was located?
No.
No further questions.
All right, cross-examination.
Prior to your using the drone and going up to the scene, you were at Mr. Sipple's house on March 22nd. is that right?
Objection. Seats the scope.
There's no such legal objection.
Well, I'm going to overrule the objection, so you can go ahead. It's cross-examination. But again, I'm going to maybe tighten up a little bit if you're getting off into areas that are, in the court's opinion, not appropriate cross-examination for this particular witness. So go ahead.
You arrived at Farmer Sipple's residence on March 22nd, 2018, is that right?
Correct.
Prior to your arrival, there were other people already there, right?
Correct.
Mr. Sipple, the homeowner, was there?
Yes.
Wisconsin State Patrol Officer Timothy Knutson was already there.
Yes, I believe so.
Dunn County Sheriff's Deputy Emmer Shields was already there.
Correct.
And then you arrived, is that right?
Correct.
And then about the same time that you arrived, another officer from the Dunn County Sheriff's Department, Greg Moen, arrived, is that right?
Deputy Moen, yes.
Deputy Moen's actually a gentleman sitting over there to my left, is that right?
That's correct.
You were there before EMT ambulance people arrived, is that right?
Correct.
And you drove your squad there?
Yes.
And your squad is equipped like all of the Dunn County, or most all of the Dunn County Sheriff's Departments with the recording device, is that right?
Correct.
And so your being there is both audio and video recording, is that right?
It should be.
Did you have a chance to review that?
I have not.
But you know that you press record or it automatically records when you turn the lights on.
It automatically records when we turn the lights on.
You know that there was a recording of that event, agreed?
Correct.
And the video shows just the squad cam, the view as if you were in the middle of the car looking out the front window, is that right?
Correct.
So the video from your squad cam would not show any of your contact with Ms. McCandless from a visual standpoint, agree?
Correct.
But you carry the mic
Hold
with
on.
you on your person, is that right?
Yes.
And
Hold on, I just want to say this real quick. I don't know if you guys caught it, but at the very beginning when there was an objection, and the court ruled and said, I'm going to allow it, but I don't want you to get too far off of the scope, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Well, spoiler alert, it's about to get deep. Okay, here we go. He's going to go out of the scope. So pay close attention here. Uh-oh. I guess I don't know how to click correctly. Play.
so the audible
There we go.
can be picked up no matter essentially if you're in a certain area it picks up the audio, is that right?
As long as you're within range, yes.
And then that entire interaction that you had at Mr. Sipples, when you were in the vicinity of Ms. McCandless, you were within range, is that right?
I don't know, but I would assume.
Based upon your experience with the range in the past, you were well within that area, right?
Correct, should have been.
And in preparation for this, the state has never played you that recording?
No.
Do you recall at least 2 times that day when you were in the presence of Ms. McCandless, or very soon after, you're using the term "she's hysterical"?
I'd have to see the video, but if that's what I said on the video, then that's what I said.
Is that accurate with your what you remember seeing and hearing?
Yes,
She appeared hysterical,
yes,
crying
yes,
uncontrollably,
yes,
shaking.
yes.
In fact, at the time, you were wondering whether she'd been involved in a motor vehicle accident. Is that right?
That's correct.
Partly because you didn't know she had a head injury, correct?
Correct.
That's all.
Any redirect?
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Officer Feeney. May I sit down?
Literally
Could you tell us your
nothing
name,
about
please,
the
sir?
drone
Your,
footage. Hold
first
on.
and last name for the court reporter.
Corey Street.
All right, Corey Streeter. I think Corey Streeter is the one where it gets contentious too, because I feel like he's the one that also did like the the street cameras or whatever footage. And I think it gets a little contentious a few times because the defense is not interested in any of this part at all. They don't care where Ezra's car was, when it was there, what she was doing. They don't care about none of that. Their entire point whenever they question any of these officers is to prove that they have been looking at this whole situation incorrectly, that Ezra was indeed a victim of an assault, and that because they didn't treat her as such and didn't regard her as such, that's why the case went the way that it did. Let me get the let me Google out Callie, because I don't want to tell you incorrectly, but I don't think she's eligible for parole. All right, let me head up the Googles real quick.
Streeter.
And how are you currently employed, sir?
Currently employed by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
And did you have a different employment as of March of 2018?
Yes, I was employed as a detective with the City of Eau Claire Police Department.
And in what capacity were you employed with the City of Eau Claire Police Department at that time?
I was assigned to the detective division.
And on March in March of 2018, did you have some specific involvement in the investigation of the matter related that we're here for?
Yes, I did.
And specifically, were you asked at some point in time to attempt to obtain surveillance video from, actually, let's back up a second. Were you familiar with where the body of Alex Woodworth was found?
Yes, I was.
And where was that?
I was with the group of investigators that located that in Dunn County.
And was that on 530th Avenue?
All right, so her sentence was life imprisonment, but she is eligible. She's eligible for parole after, but she's got to serve a minimum of 50 years. So, I mean, she'll be 70, I guess, before she's, le chat noir. Yes, of course. If obviously they don't want to talk about any of that because that's an issue of great importance. Because I mean, if you're afraid of somebody, but you have to have like the final goodbye and closure and all that business, which is what she basically said was the deal, and you're afraid, then it makes sense that you would want to be in a public place, not in the middle of nowhere, right? Like she took them basically like where Courage the Cowardly Dog lived, like in the middle of nowhere. So sad. No, no, AJ, she's probably not. That she would have to show, first of all, she'd have to show remorse. And second of all, she'd have to show, she'd have to take accountability. And so the truth is that likely she's not going to even start to begin to entertain remorse or accountability until after she's exhausted every single appeal that she has. I mean, it was absolutely the opposite place. Yeah, it's like Nowhere Land with Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. I can't remember where Courage the Cowardly Dog lived. But yeah, I mean, she did. She took him out in the middle of nowhere. Terrible. All right, here we go.
Well,
Yes, that's the approximate location.
and were you also familiar with the location where Alex Woodworth was last seen, that being his residence located in the city of Eau Claire?
Yes, I was.
And were you familiar with the most logical route from that location to 530th Avenue?
Yes.
Or 430th, I'm sorry. I think I said 530th. And what was that most logical route?
The most logical route out of the city of Eau Claire would have been along Cameron Street, which turns into West Cameron Street, and then it proceeds to turn into County Road E out into Dunn County.
All right. And did you go along that route and attempt to find if there were any businesses that had surveillance cameras that covered any of that route?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to find any that had surveillance cameras that were working at that time that were along that route?
The locations that had working surveillance were at the Auto Value, which is at the intersection of Cameron and Claremont in Eau Claire. And there was also a West Wisconsin Telecom location, which was out approximately 7 miles east of the location that the vehicle was located. Those are the primary locations that we located video.
All right. And were you able to find any relevant video on any of those surveillance systems?
No, the West Wisconsin Telecom did not record. That was motion activated and did not record any vehicles passing by that location. And the Auto Value, we did recover information. However, the distance that video was from the street where the vehicle would have passed by was far away, and it's not, you could not see any images from that distance.
All right. And are you familiar with the Milestone public camera system in the city of Eau Claire?
Yes.
All right. And we already heard a little bit about that, but did you have occasion to review Milestone camera videos to attempt to find the defendant's vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And in doing that, were you able to find that vehicle on that system at any point in time?
Yes, I did.
What was the first camera that you were able to find the vehicle that the defendant was driving on?
The first time the vehicle was located entering the city on that date was at approximately 10:41 a.m. at the intersection of Galloway and Farwell.
And were you familiar with, at that time, where the defendant had been coming from that day?
Yes, my recollection is that she would have been coming from the Stanley area.
And if someone was coming from Stanley, what's the most logical route to take to get to Eau Claire?
Based on where the vehicle was first sighted, the logical exit off of Freeway 53 would have been River Prairie, which connects with Galloway Street.
And would that be a relatively direct route into the city?
Yes, it would.
All right, showing you street of what's been marked for identification as exhibit number 430, which is a full series of photos. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And is that something you had prepared?
Yes, it is.
All right. And the first page of exhibit number 430, do you see any vehicles in that picture that drew your attention as you reviewed the Milestone camera system?
Yes, this appears to be the subject vehicle based on what I knew what it looked like at the intersection of Farwell and Galloway at 10:41 a.m.
Your Honor, and is that series of photos, is that all of the photos that you took that deal with that system that showed the defendant's vehicle?
The series of photos here are in chronological order, and they show the vehicle where it was located on various cameras throughout the city on public space surveillance.
Judge, we have no objection to exhibit 430, all of the photos, no objection to the publication.
Thank you.
Okay, exhibit 430, and how many are they on a disc? Is that it?
No, I'm actually going to show it on video format in just a moment. Your Honor.
Okay, so the photos contained in exhibit 430, and how many are there?
65.
65? Okay, so those photos will be, exhibit 430 will be received.
May I approach again, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm showing you what has been marked for identification as Exhibit 534. Does that appear to be a disc that is labeled as being the camera at Farwell and Galloway in the same time period as that first photo on exhibit number 430?
Yes, it is.
Did you review that disc prior to coming in and testifying?
Yes, I did.
And that contains some initials, it looks like?
Yes, those are my initials.
All right, and does that disc accurately depict the view at that camera from approximately 10:41:21 to 10:41:51 on March 22nd of 2018?
It does.
All right, Your Honor, now I move the admission exhibit number 534 and ask to be able to play that video. I have it on my computer ready to go.
Any objection to 534?
No, Judge, and it's helpful. We have no objection to 534 all the way through 551, and no objection to the publication of the same videos.
Is the state offering those?
Yes, Your Honor, then we will. Those are all the various cameras. So what we'll do is I'll just have them identify each one and play them then, if that's okay with counsel.
All right.
Things along.
Exhibits then 534 through 551 will be received, and they may be published to the jury. You can use, again, your video format.
So we can switch. And is that the defendant's vehicle we see at the stoplight there to the right
It is.
and turning to the right?
Turning from Galloway onto Farwell Street.
All right. Counsel, can you see that?
That's fine, thank
Okay,
you.
can the jury see that? Okay, all right. Mr. Streeter, can you step down maybe for a little while we'll have you step down. Can you point to where on there we're looking at?
That first location was at Farwell and Galloway Street.
All right. And you see the location where Alex Woodworth's residence is located on that exhibit.
That'd be closer to Cameron Street and Bellinger Street.
All right, and the direction that we saw the vehicle turn off of Galloway Street, would that be heading towards that location of the Alex Woodworth residence?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Showing you what has been marked for identification, I may report, Your Honor, as Exhibit 535. Is that the camera located at Madison and is it Bellinger?
Bellinger.
All right.
Again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we agree to the admissibility of all of those. 534 through 551.
All right,
There's
well,
no
that's fine.
combination that is necessary. You can certainly go through it, but we're not objecting to any.
Okay, they've been received, so however you want to present.
Right. And that is at the times from 10:43:45 to 10:44:27.
Correct.
And it's okay to just publish them as we move along?
Yes, please, thank you.
So the vehicle is turned from Farwell Street onto Madison Street. Is now taking a turn right there to go northbound on Bellinger Street.
All right. And again, is that in the, using the map, can you show us where this is? And can you tell us whether or not that is in the direction towards the Alex Woodworth property?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. If it's helpful, you can put it here. I don't necessarily need to see it. You're welcome to use my pointer and just.
All right, let's move it so it's a little bit easier for everyone here.
So the video we just saw was coming off of Madison Street. You saw initially Galloway to Farwell. This would be the route right here, going to Madison Street and Bellinger Street. So Bellinger is also, Fifth Avenue turns into Bellinger Street, so it's going northbound towards Alex Woodworth's residence.
Thank you. .536, I approach.
You may.
Showing you what has been marked for identification as Exhibit 536. Is that same camera, Madison and Bellinger?
Yes, it
And
is.
now we're at 10:43:45 to 10:44:27.
Yes.
May I play that one now?
I'm sorry. I thought that was the first one, 10:43 to 10:45.
The first one was 10:41.
Yes.
10:41, I'm sorry. No, not Farwell and Galloway.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just a different camera. I'm sorry.
This is a different camera view of the same intersection, it appears.
I'm sorry, I want
I
5.
have it all written down, I didn't realize.
Thank you, Counsel, you were right. This is Madison and Bellinger again, but this now is at 10:50 to 1050-42?
Correct.
All right. Thank you, counsel. And that is exhibit 537, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
The vehicle is traveling eastbound and turning southbound onto Bellinger Street, which turns into Fifth Avenue.
Is that then, would that be coming in the direction away then from the Alex Woodworth residence?
Correct.
Yeah, yes.
So likely coming from this location of the off-camera view of McCandless Street on the Madison Street and turning to go southbound Fifth Avenue.
And is that then heading in the direction towards Racy's coffee shop?
It is, yes.
Okay. Thank you. I approach?
You may.
And Your Honor, full counsel is going to actually play them, so I'm going to kind of stay around here so we can move along a little bit quicker. Showing you what has been marked for identification as Exhibit 539. Is that a camera located at Water and 4th Street?
Yes, it is.
And that is at the time from 10:53:32 to approximately 10:54:02.
It is.
All right.
Oh, goody,
Exhibit,
another
539,
useless and pointless
please.
diagram that nobody can see. Perfect.
That is the subject vehicle parking in the diagonal parking places next to the Pickle Bar and Tavern.
All right. And where is Racy's in relation? Actually, let's step down. You can stop that now. Can you show us on here where we're seeing that vehicle parking?
Here, and then Grace's is just adjacent to that, so the Pickle will be right at the intersection of 4th and Water. Grace's right there.
Okay, great. Thank you. And showing you Exhibit 540, is that again that same camera at approximately 10:59:48 and it going till 11:01:35.
Yes, it is.
Can we play Exhibit 540, please? So the car is still in the same spot it was in before?
That is correct. And two subjects are approaching the vehicle.
Callie, honestly, I don't think that we're going to be anywhere in the vicinity of even close to potentially getting her motive until the other ex-boyfriend, Jason Mengel, testifies. I think that's when I think when he testifies, or at least I hope, because I haven't listened to it, but I really hope that we're going to get like some idea of what the heck was going on. You know what I mean? And yes, her hair does. Look, it's not my favorite, but I got to give it to her. She does take some hair
It is.
risks.
That is a vehicle turning
She does make some hairdo risks.
eastbound on Water Street.
You got to give it up to her for that, at least.
That is
That
correct.
she's willing to take a risk on the hairdo. She does coolest reviews. She testifies in her own
And can you
defense.
show
She
us there,
absolutely does.
On the map, then which direction, what we're seeing it going towards here?
So here's Water Street right here. So we're going out the intersection here, turning to go eastbound.
All right. Are you familiar with the Max Martinson residence and where that was located at that time?
My understanding is he would be the Boyd Park area, which is up here, which is in the general direction that vehicle is going.
All right, thank you. Showing you what has been marked for identification as Exhibit 541. Can you tell us what that is?
It's the intersection of Water Street and First Avenue from 11:01:52 until 11:02:22.
Agreed. Coolest reviews.
541, please. Thank you.
I'm given to understand it's quite epic, and I'm also given to understand the testimony.
So this is the vehicle traveling eastbound on Water Street, and I'll take a left-hand turn to travel north on First Avenue.
Excuse me, Detective Streeter. I was speaking.
which is off of camera view now.
Okay, thank you. You can stop it now. Can you show us,
Off of camera view.
can you show us where that is? And if that is again heading in the direction of the Max Martinson residence.
This will be Water Street right here, and then take a left-hand turn to go north on First Avenue for the Lake Street Bridge.
I'm given to
Exhibit,
understand there's fireworks between Ezra and
542,
Jason when he
is that Lake
testifies.
and First at approximately 11:03 to 11:03:30.
Yes, it is.
Can we play exhibit 542, please?
So there's a vehicle on First Avenue, and then turning right to go on the Lake Street Bridge.
I didn't see a blinker. Did you guys? Maybe they could get her for some traffic violations as
Okay,
well.
Thank you. Can you show us again where that is on our map here?
It's First Avenue, driving north, and then turn east on Lake Street.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Prosecuting Attorney, for completely blocking that useless diagram.
Showing you exhibit 545. Can you tell us what that one is?
That is the intersection of Farwell and Lake Street from 11:03:49 until 11:04:19.
You can play exhibit 545.
Coolish, you should write her and get some kind of
That
branding
is a
deal
vehicle turning
going.
off of Lake
Telling
Street
you.
onto Farwell Avenue, heading northbound.
All right, and if you can show us on here what you're looking at here.
Lake Street, turning left to go northbound on Farwell.
All right, and again, heading in the general direction of the Martinson residence.
Correct, the left whole turn would like to be Main Street to get to his residence, which is right at Farwell.
Right. Showing you exhibit 547.
You're so punny.
Does that appear to be that same intersection, but now at about 11:10:52, or about 8 minutes later?
Yes, it is.
We play exhibit 547, please.
There's a vehicle on Farwell Street, turning now to go onto Lake Street Bridge.
Is that now going basically the opposite direction of what we just saw?
That is correct.
All right, so coming back from the direction of the Martinson residence, heading back towards Racy's?
Yes, that is correct.
No, I like it. I don't get it, Lucrative. I don't
Well,
even
you're exhibit
understand what the point.
548,
Hold on, excuse
does
me,
that appear to
Mr.
be water and
Prosecutor.
Fourth at about-
I was speaking. So rude. I don't know how they think that the jury can see it because they're the way that they like angle the camera. I'm thinking that they're like not behind them, but if I guess the way we're facing to the left, right? Our left. And there's a huge glare. It's ridiculous. And the prosecutor is interrupting me at every turn. I don't really appreciate it, but here we go.
About 11,
Very
13,
rude.
45.
Yes, it is.
All right, play exhibit 548. So we're back in the area of Racy's. Mr. Street, are we back in the area of Racy's?
Yes, we are. This is the intersection of 4th and Water again. There's the vehicle turning off of Water Street back into the area toward Racy's, which is in the alleyway off of camera view.
Yes, I love it. I also like how the prosecutor was like, "Wake up, detective, I'm
And that
talking to
was,
you."
About 11, 13, almost 11:14.
Yes, that's correct.
Showing you exhibit number 549. Is this again Water and Fourth? A couple minutes later at about 11:16.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, exhibit 549.
Hey, if you guys could give your girl and do your girl a solid, I would super appreciate it. Could y'all go give me a like on the
vehicle
video, a thumbs up,
approaching the
thumbs
intersection
down,
again.
whatever.
And we'll take a left-hand turn.
Be
to head
honest with your
west on Water Street.
reaction. I'm not going to
And-
judge. Oh,
You
perfect.
show us on, this is 419C, where are we seeing here?
Thank
So
you,
this area
Kez
Racy's
Chick.
right here, and that vehicle will turn to go on Water Street here, heading west, and then approaching 5th Avenue, which is off camera view.
All right, and finally, exhibit number 550. Is that again back at Madison and Bellinger Street?
Thank
Yes, it
you,
is.
Tony. I
That's, sorry,
appreciate it.
1850 to 11/1932.
Yes, that's correct.
For that.
So to answer your question, Coolest Reviews, what I can see is I can see the number of people that are watching, and then I can see the number of likes or dislikes. I don't know if I can see the number of dislikes anymore. I think the YouTube's took that away. But yeah, I can see the number of people in the chat, and then I can see like how many likes I have. I can't actually see who. Can you imagine the dissension that would cause on the YouTubes if it was like Facebook and you could see who reacts to your stuff and what reaction they gave? Y'all. Hey, Yvonne Smith, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad to see you. Yeah, so can you imagine what would happen if people if the YouTubes was like the Facebook and you could see that? Man. Do you know how many fights and group wars have been started over reactions? I've never actually looked, Lucrative, to see well, I mean, it used to show me the dislikes if somebody did it. Thank you. I've learned a lot. I appreciate it. But yeah, I've learned to just accept the dislike. I'm okay with it. Good night, AJ. Have a good day tomorrow at work. Thanks for coming in.
There's a vehicle traveling northbound on Bellinger Street, crossing Madison.
Again, heading in the direction of Alex Woodworth's residence.
Yes, that is correct.
You can switch off the camera now. I'm going to leave that up for the moment. You talked about the most direct route from Alex Woodworth's residence to the location where his body is found. Are there any additional milestone cameras on that route that we're talking about, or were there at least as of March 22nd of 2018?
No, there were not.
And are you familiar with the location of Owen Park?
Yes, I am.
Could you step down and show us on the map Owen Park?
Owen Park is off of First Avenue.
Right. And are you familiar with whether or not there would be additional cameras if someone went on any reasonable route between Alex Woodworth's residence and Owen Park?
Yes, the most reasonable route would have, again, crossed the camera of the last view that we saw at Madison Bellinger. There would be another camera at 5th and Water Street. Sorry, right up here, 5th and Water Street. And then again at 4th and Water Street. And then as we took that turn from Water Street on First Avenue again, which is the intersection of Owen Park, there was another camera view. And an alternate route would have been taking Lake Street. They had also crossing the camera at that intersection.
Y'all go give my homeboy Coolest Reviews a sub, a check out, a like. He's got good content. I think you guys will like it. I'm subbed. I like it. I watch it. I watch his stuff. Go help him out.
Did you check those cameras in the time after 1
Please.
o'clock when Alex Woodworth was last seen at his residence?
Yes.
Did you see that vehicle that we've seen on these other videos on any of those cameras during that time frame? I have no further questions for Mr. Streeter.
All right, are you, Mr. Nelson, you ready? You can cross-examination. Do you want the easel in the same place?
Yeah, I did. Coolest Reviews. You're welcome.
Mr. Streeter, you were a detective in Eau Claire Police
Yes.
Department, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
It sounds like you're pretty, in general, familiar with the outline of this case, is that right?
Yes,
You were familiar with the investigation done by others in your department that saw Ezra and Alex at his apartment at approximately 12:50 on that day, is that right?
yes.
It's going to be precariously balanced. Sure, I'm gonna write it and I'll show you that there. I wrote down here at 12:50, Ezra and Alex were at Alex's apartment on Cameron Street. Is that accurate?
It's my understanding, yes.
And then, again, just rough details. Approximately 4:15 in the afternoon, there was a 911 call from Don Sipple's house. Is that right?
That's my understanding, yes.
And are you familiar with the people who showed up at Don Sipple's after the fact, just roughly?
Yes.
There was, I believe, Trooper Knudsen, is that right?
I'm not aware of who immediately responded to that from
Okay.
the initial Dunn County call, only those from my department that followed up after.
Oh, okay. So you don't know who was there on March 22nd?
Not from Dunn County response, no.
Okay, or from the State Patrol?
Correct.
Objection,
You don't know
relevance.
if there was any recordings here of what Ezra was doing that time, do you?
I'm not aware.
And you're not aware of anything that happened between 12:50 and 4:15, correct?
Correct.
You're here to tell us about where Ezra drove prior to getting to Alex, to seeing the police at 12:50, right?
Correct.
I don't know, Yvonne. I've read her name wrong
Not
about
here with all
11
of that
billion
technology to
times.
talk at all
So
about any
don't
of the
feel
recordings
bad.
of her at Don Sipple's house,
Correct.
just beforehand.
That is correct.
I've not.
David, you're right. Okay, well then, officer, I don't know if it's officer now, Agent Streeter, what do you?
Special agent, yeah.
All right, so that's kind of all I got for tonight. I just wanted you guys to see that footage just because you can see that where she was initially directing people to go to looking for Alex, which obviously the first place they're going to look is his apartment, right? Obviously, they're going to look at his residence. But then they're also going to be following up and looking at the park. I can't remember what the name of the park is. I keep calling it the Frog Park because it has the big frog, which obviously he wasn't there. He was miles from there. And again, here comes the defense with I suppose they did make a good point saying that they didn't have Ezra's vehicle on any of the street cameras for a specific window of time. So I guess they made some kind of, I'll be generous and score them a point because of course they haven't presented any of their evidence yet. So I don't know how they're going to tie all of this together, but yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight. It's always a pleasure to see all of you. And again, I don't care what anybody says. We have the best chat in all of the YouTubes. The end. Tomorrow night I'll be back. I'm gonna be at 8:30 because the doctor's testimony is rather long, and of course we're gonna want to discuss. So I will see you all tomorrow night at 9:30 or at 8:30, excuse me, and have a good rest of your Sunday night. And I hope nobody has a case of the Mondays. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. All right, bye.